Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to an episode of Coach Don Show. I'm your host, Coach Don. You can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Um, we have the Philadelphia. We're gonna preview the Philadelphia Eagles versus Dallas Cowboys game. But of course, we got to get into the Micah Parsons trade and all that. As people know, Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons have been it's been tumultuous a little bit the past I'd say 3-4 months. Before then you had Micah Parsons saying that money ain't a thing and he ain't worried about money, he ain't worried about being the highest paid, but we all knew that, which ain't nothing wrong with want to be the highest paid. So it's no reason to lie about it. Like you should, especially football players, like you should always want to get the most money possible for the shortest time possible, because it's a dangerous game, man. You playing with your life, you playing with your livelihood every second that you have there in that football field, so you should want to get as much money as possible, as much money you can get in the least amount of years. And we had Michael Parsons going to his podcast and other shows saying that he didn't want to be the highest paid. This was last season. I don't know if it was after season or before the last season. He was saying that he didn't want to be the highest paid and he didn't care about money. He wanted to be a Cowboy for life, which at the time they could have all been true, but you don't say those things because things change, you know what I'm saying? If you going to sign your contract in the next 2 months and you say that and you feel that way, but saying it a year prior, that's not a smart thing. Well, I ain't say it's not stupid or anything, but it's just always turn around and fans gonna bring it up and be mad because you said one thing and you did another one. You might have felt that in your heart of hearts, but it's just something that you shouldn't say, because like I said, you never know when things gonna change. And so the last 3 months that which we know Jerry, when it comes to negotiating contracts, it don't matter who it is. Be Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Dez Bryant, Emmitt Smith, anybody, DeMarcus Ware, anybody, no matter who the league or who the fans agree deserves it or who the fans agree don't deserve it. It don't matter to Jerry Jones because he gon' always do the same thing. They gon' quote unquote lowball you, whatever that to us that don't have $40 million a year, we think take it, but you can't put yourself compare what they doing to you, what you doing, because you're not making your boss $1 billion, so you don't $1 billion a year, so you don't have to you can't compare yourself to that, so you just gotta try to put yourself in their shoes and what would you do, what you want, you know what I'm saying? Because if I'm making Jerry Jones billions of dollars a year, if I'm a player, then I want a piece of that. Like I can't compare what you make at, I don't know where, no disrespect nobody work. Like if you working at McDonald's or somewhere, you can't compare. My boss gave me 40. Of course you would take $40 million without batting the eye, but you know what I'm saying? It's different. It's different thing, you know what I'm saying? It's different to them. So you can't, fans always try to put themselves in those players' shoes and what they would do, and they boss, you're not gonna take a pay cut at your job, whatever that pay cut may be. Yes, it ain't gonna be a $40 million to $47 to $7 million pay cut, but if you do a comparison, you a $700 pay cut, a $200 pay cut a month. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Just we just don't never face those things, so we don't put ourselves in those situations and to see or to know what we would do in that situation. So if you know Jerry Jones, you know they're gonna bash you in the media. They always gonna do that. They gonna sneak it and leak it. They gonna sneak it out there and leak it out there. That's this, that, and the third, like it don't matter what it is. Like when you had Dez Bryant, they had a tape on him when he was in a parking lot at Walmart parking lot doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing. The local radio station ran with it. We never seen it again. Never heard anything about it again. Never seen no tape. Never seen nothing. But he was in contract negotiation. Anything that happened in contract negotiation, you can't take it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, this is outside of sports, but you got the Drake and his record label thing. We talking about $1 billion, so you just can't believe everything you hear when this type of stuff is going on. You know what I'm saying? When you got millions of dollars at stake, you can't believe, or you gotta take everything with a grain of salt. No matter if you on Jerry's side, don't matter if you on Micah's side, it don't matter, none of that. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta take it with a grain of salt and just see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at Micah. I can't be mad at Jerry. Both of them are the same to me. They both got egos and they both didn't handle it the right way. Right. This is the first time I've seen a player not handle it right. You know, if you go back to Dak, Trayvon, all these guys just don't come. Like, just don't come. Don't show up and be there and, you know, give mixed signals and all that. And, you know, he messed up by Jerry's, you know, saying he agreed to a contract, but we all know, like, if you know, you know that he not gonna negotiate a contract without his lawyer. He can negotiate all he want to, but he not gonna negotiate a contract without his lawyer. I mean, without his agent there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you're in an interrogation room, you say I want to have my lawyer, then whatever we talking about, it stops right then and there. You know what I'm saying? So if I say I want my agent, it's over with. No matter what's going on, what happened, we got to run by what we talked about to our agent, then we go from there where we left off at. But Jerry Ego, he felt like he had a deal with Micah, handshake deal. You know, he go about the Cowboy with a handshake deal and all. But this is 2025, man. You dealing with young kids that, you know, 25, 26, 27-year-old young men that come from nothing. Like, they don't know nothing about that stuff, man. So you got to do it the right way, because once it hit the fan, it hit the fan. That's how it hit the fan. So you fast forward, you got Micah requesting a trade, which you can't request a trade unless you really want to be traded, because you never know if you're gonna get traded or not. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people use it to posture and to get deals, and most of the time it works. If a team from Kobe Bryant back in the day to Myles Garrett this past year, like, it worked. If you ask for a trade and the team want to keep you, they gonna keep you. But if you get an owner like Jerry Jones who got an ego and egotistical, and he gonna do something they got emotion. You know what I'm saying? Your money can't be mad. You can't have deal with mad money. Like, you mad, like you offer him 40.5 million, right? But Jerry Jones, whereas that was Michael's camp starting point at 40.5. Like, that's normal negotiation. You know what I'm saying? Which I think, you know, Jerry truly thought that what him and Michael had going on is real. You know what I'm saying? And for him to be a smart man, which he is a smart man, no matter what I feel about him, because I ain't a Jerry Jones fan, but no matter how I feel about him, you don't get that much money and to where you at without having a little sense. You know what I'm saying? And he got enough sense to know, like, this ain't real what we have. Yeah, we can say what we're gonna agree to and what we want, and I want this. Okay, I say, yeah, we can do that, but until it's on pen and paper, that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's smart enough to know that. You know what I'm saying? So you have Michael requesting the trade, and when he requested the trade, I didn't really feel no way about it. You know what I'm saying? I really don't feel no way about none of it, but I didn't feel no way about it. You know, I knew it was a portion. I knew Michael really deep down didn't want to leave. Nobody want to go from Dallas to Green Bay, or Dallas to You know what I'm saying? Most places in the NFL, you don't want to go from Dallas to that place. You know what I'm saying? Like Micah Parsons is a great player, but it's different when you got that star on your helmet. You know, and this year, a lot of people gonna talk about him and he gonna be and see how he do. But after this year, it's gonna be over with, man. All that media circus and all that stuff you get as a Dallas Cowboy, you don't get that nowhere else, man. So with him requesting the trade, I knew he didn't really want to be traded. But like I said, like the tongue is a powerful thing, man. When you say stuff, you say it enough, and enough people believe it. It can happen. And the right people believe you want to be traded. The right people believe that you don't want to be here. Then you can be traded. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, I know he didn't, but that don't mean that other people don't believe you want to be traded or you want to do these things or whatever it is you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So a week ago, he's at the airport. He's going to get a second opinion because if you don't know, the Cowboys gave him an MRI on his back, which David Mulugeta is his agent. He's the cornerback for they got traded from the Rams from Jags to the Rams. I don't know why I can't think his name, but he had a back injury, quote unquote back injury. But that's David Mulugeta. That's his thing. You know what I'm saying? That's his. He gonna make you out of back injury because you can't tell me my back ain't hurting. I don't care what the MRI say. Like my back is hurting. You know what I'm saying? If somebody done had back surgery before, like I understand, like you can't tell me my back ain't hurting. I don't care what the MRI say, the X-ray say, my back is sore. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel right playing right, so you can't tell me. You know what I'm saying? So there was gonna be another fight at that time. You know, I know Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones thinking that's gonna be another fight. So now we're gonna have to fight and go to court for is he hurt? Should we be able to take his not paying because he's sitting out, holding out games, and then Micah side, hey, we hurt, so you shouldn't be able to take my money because I'm not sitting out, because I'm not playing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm playing, I'm not playing because I'm hurt. I'm not playing because I'm sitting out, which we all know the latter is right. You're not playing because you're gonna be you wouldn't have been playing because you didn't feel like you're getting paid, not because you was hurt. But that was up to Jerry and his lawyers and whoever is the NFL versus the NFLPA to go at it who proved right. But in the meantime, games got to be played. So you sitting out and it was just going to get ugly if that was the case. At the time, I know they're thinking that, you know. And I keep saying at the time because Micah his agent and Jerry and everybody that came out and said their thoughts on what was going on. So that's why I say at the time, this is what they think. Because what they saying now ain't what they probably was thinking at the time, you know. So you getting traded, you going through the process of not want to play a game. Do I want to sit out? I'm gonna get a second opinion. I can go get a second opinion, you know, which is his right to go get a second opinion. I get this doctor to tell me, yeah, I see a little something in there, you know, just a little something. I see a little something in there that I understand, you know, you're probably hurting right there. So that's all you need for you to say, hey, look, see what this doctor said. So now I'm going to sit down. I ain't going to play, but I'm really holding out. You know what I'm saying? I'm really holding out. I'm really not playing because you're getting paid, but I'm telling you it's because of my back and you can't do nothing about it. And Jerry and Steven them know they couldn't do nothing about it. So who got the most leverage? In the Dak contract, Dak had all the leverage. You know what I'm saying? That's why he got $60 million, a no trade clause. They trade him. He got a $89 million on there. They owe $50 million on this. If it's this year, if it's June 1st, they gonna own another $60 million. Like it's so much thing that he got. It's just make it impossible for them to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about leverage. And Michael was trying to see how much leverage he can get. What leverage do I have to force them to give me what I want? You know what I'm saying? And when you get these deals, you know, you get the big numbers of $47 million per year, but you don't know if it's front loaded, back loaded, if it's incentive based, if it's how much they get at signing, how much is truly guaranteed. Because it's a different thing between fully guaranteed and guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Guaranteed if you do this. Fully guaranteed, it means you get it. They'll sign, and when you sign, you get that. The rest is guaranteed. It's guaranteed if you on the roster by March 1st this year. If you do this, if you do that, that's when the guarantees start kicking. But when it's fully guaranteed, it's different. Fully guaranteed mean you get it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? No matter what's happened. So when you're pen the paper, it's in your bank account now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you gotta look at country. When you see country, you gotta look at the fully guaranteed money, the years, and then how much does it cost versus against the cap? You know what I'm saying? Because you can sign a 4-year, $202 million deal, but it's $30-something million against the cap because you got this 5th year of your old rookie contract. They baked that in there too. You know what I'm saying? So they stretch it out, and so you might be technically the highest paid defensive end or the highest paid quarterback, but if you got years left on your old deal, then it's called an extension. They just extending that deal, giving you more years and extend that deal out. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at deals, you gotta look at that. But Jerry Jones, they see him trying to sit out and all those things, and they know they can't do nothing. So it's just about who they both trying to get leverage. And you got less than a week. When at the time you got less than a week to the first game of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, this serious business, which it really don't make no sense because you sign Dak and you sign CD, you trade for Jordan Pickens. Those are all win now moves. We trying to win now, but then you trade your best defensive player for sure, one of your best players on the team. So that's not a win now move. So I don't understand. Like, are they just punt, or are the Cowboys and Jerry Jones just punting on Dak Prescott's career? Like, hey man, we're gonna pay his last 3 years out of his contract. We're gonna rebuild. So we have a team. When we get a new quarterback, we'll be ready to roll in. So we just punt on this contract, or we really trying to win? You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna tell you, we punt on the contract. Of course, you just gotta shuffle the tea leaves and see how it go. So, but I don't understand what's going on. Me personally, I wouldn't have traded Micah Parsons, but also me just knowing and keeping up and just keeping level headed and no emotion about it, I can understand. And people ask me, like, when it happened, people ask me like, is this the same thing? Like Luka, Dallas lost Luka and Micah Parsons the same. It's not even close. It's not even like in the same world. It's like on a different planet between the Luka situation and Micah situation. Luka never asked to be traded. Luka never went through a contract dispute publicly anyway. There was no rumblings. There was nobody ever knew nothing. We just woke up one day and Luka was gone. You know what I'm saying? So we just woke up one day and Luka was gone, and so that made it harder than what the Micah Parsons did. You know what I'm saying? Luka carrying us to finals and stuff. Micah Parsons, we wasn't gonna win nothing with him. Ain't gonna win nothing without him that I can see for the foreseeable future. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'm wrong, but I just don't see it happening. But for those asking me that, like, it ain't even in the same. Like, I lost a couple days sleep. I ain't gonna lie on the Luka trade, but this I don't have no emotion invested in it, man. I agree with I'm always on the player side. I'm always on their side. Give what your money, give what you do. Even though I'm a Cowboy fan and I was a Michael Parsons fan. You know what I'm saying? Keyword was, I'm not now because I hate Green Bay. So you went to Green Bay and you want it out. Even if you didn't want it out, you told me you want it out. So I got to take you as your word. I can't take you as your word on this, and then you get in the press conference and say, I didn't want to leave, and I got to take your word on this. I got to not take your word on one of them. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't think deep down, I don't think he wanted to be traded, but you said it. You know what I'm saying? If you went to them and you done a farewell letter and all this months ago. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't just say I want to be traded. You went to them and said I want to be traded, and they leaked it and put it out like that. No, you put it out. You put it out into the world. You told Jerry Jones you put it on your social media accounts that you want to be traded and you've been grateful for the Cowboy family, all that. So I gotta take you as your word. And So leading up to he got traded, I still was thinking like, there's no way Micah gonna sit out because I just listening to him, and again I take people as their word at their word. Like he loved football, he loved the game of football, and you tell him shit. But when you see a man that's supposed to be that talks, I'm a leader this, I'm a leader that, I'm a leader that talks all that, and he says he want the young ones to lead, to run, to follow him. You can't be laying on that table, brother. You can't be laying on that table while these guys that you want to follow you or up fight for their lives, NFL lives, not real lives. They fight for their NFL lives to make this team or make another team. And instead of you there clapping them on, shaking their hand, they come out, tell them good job, and you laying on the table sleep. I don't know you really sleep, but they say you was sleep. You look sleep. So you're laying on the table sleep while Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, we seen CeeDee Lamb the first preseason getting ran over by the ref because he run up and down the field, cheering guys on. That's what leaders do. You want people to follow you. They're gonna follow you by your example, not by your words. You can talk all day, but if you saying one thing and doing another, that don't mean nothing. What is your action saying? You can tell me you love him, but you got to show me. Like, what are you doing? So you land on the table and you say you're a leader. When I seen that as a person that's around football and been around football and coach football and know what a leader should look like, as a leader of man myself, I looked at that and I'd be like, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Right at that point, I knew it was like, it took me think he gonna play to down from 100% to probably 45%. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's probably the end. You know what I'm saying? But you still a little surprised. As Dak say, I'm a surprise, but I'm not surprised. I'm surprised they did because I didn't think they would ever trade a great player in his prime, because they just don't do that. Dallas just don't do that. Jerry gonna hold on to players until they just almost gone. Then he send them at the end of their career. Then they go out and play somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So I just never thought from that aspect, but I wasn't surprised just because it's too much going on. So when you land on a table, you want to be a leader, they ain't a leader. You know what I'm saying? It's something Dak said in his interview that stuck out to me. Yes, his press conference was interview, after practice or whatever, a day or so ago, that stuck out to me was, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said to the effect that we traded for a leader, a great football player, and a man. Keyword, he said, and a man or an adult. One of the two, but either way, it's the same thing. A lot of people in the locker room, they didn't feel that he was adult. He was a leader. You could look at that. You could look at people and tell if they a little childish or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Me being a 41-year-old man, like, you can tell when somebody is childish or somebody, not. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got a little kid. We playing a kid game. We coaching the kid game. So we all got a little kid in us still. You know what I'm saying? But you can tell when somebody not being genuine and not genuine. I ain't gonna say not genuine, but not being an adult. You know what I'm saying? So that stuck out to me. And there's a lot of reports saying Dak didn't like his pocket, which a lot of them didn't like it. A lot of reports came out from Malik Hooker, DeMarcus Lawrence last year. All of them came out and said, but it's a lot of it is telling. You just put this, none of us know because none of us in the locker room. But if I grab this piece and grab this piece and grab this piece and grab this piece and put it all together and see what I got, you can kind of tell a story. You know what I'm saying? Or at least come close to one. So if I'm looking at everything from him laying on the table, from DeMarcus Lawrence last year and the Dak reportedly last year, and Malik Hooker complaining about he done that on Twitter about the podcast. And if I just look at the scene, so if I'm watching practice and I'm watching everything, practices and games and everything, outside of Trayvon Diggs, I never seen nobody interacting or coming up and just laughing and joking with Micah Parsons. Not saying it didn't happen. I just saying I didn't see it. So that's telling to me that you don't have people. You're not galvanizing. You're not bringing people in, and people, even though they know you going through your thing, they still with you. And now after you got traded, you had Wanye Thomas and Overshown, which Overshown you gotta worry about. Like, it's okay. Like, I feel you, but it's time for somebody to step up. You got all these guys on the defense that's publicly showing that they didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the time. Like, it's okay to be like, hey, Micah Parsons make a post and I come in under that post and be like, hey man, I miss your brother, whatever, blah blah blah. That's natural. You know, and as a black men, we should show each other more love publicly than we do. But you got y'all got teams to lead, a team to lead, and y'all are 6 days away at the time from a game, so it's gotta be better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's y'all time to shine. Y'all get more work. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That's basically what was going on, what's happening. You know, that's their thoughts, their focus on it. You know, bottom line, Jerry had an ego, Micah had an ego, and Micah was childish at the same time, wasn't ready for this type of negotiation. And Jerry ego knew he wasn't ready for this type of negotiation. So you trying to up one. So that's oil and water. It ain't gonna mix. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't mix. You asked for a trade, I trade you in the story. You know what I'm saying? You know, so moving forward, Dallas got 2 first-round picks, and they got Kenny Clark, which Kenny Clark is a good player. You know, he ain't Michael, but at least you got something back. You know what I'm saying? Like, he a good player. He a top 10 defensive tackle. Michael's a top 5 defensive end. So, you know, he ain't gonna be at 12 sacks, but he gonna be better for us than if we just traded him for picks and we didn't get no player back. You know what I'm saying? But my honest thoughts on the whole thing, you know, not talking about what I thought about what was going on, but my thought about him being traded. My thoughts are, Micah is a dynamic player. You know, I read somewhere where our defense, it was like advanced metrics, advanced stats, whereas the EPA was the highest as was number 1 with him on the field, number 32 with him off the field. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't been practicing. He's saying now, his agent saying now that he wasn't gonna miss game, but just a day earlier in the Green Bay press conference, Micah said he was gonna miss game. So again, it is what it is. At this point, everybody trying to save faces, David Mulugeta, Michael Parsons, Jerry Jones trying to save face and make themselves not look like the suspect and try to make themselves look like the victim. You know what I'm saying? The victim in the same thing, in this whole thing. I was victimized. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Michael, I didn't want to. He didn't ever want to leave Dallas. Well, you know what I'm saying? So there's nothing you can do about it. But I feel like Dallas defense wasn't gonna be good with Mike. It'd have been better with Michael, but it wasn't gonna be no championship style defense. You know what I'm saying? And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope somebody from the Cowboys hear this or not, but I don't care. And they see it and they take it motivation, and one of them clip it up and put it on their end of the year video and all that. But I just don't think our defense gonna be good. Our offense gonna be dynamic long as we healthy. You know what I'm saying? O-line is already banged up. You know, so but we got our big guns at receiver. We got Dak Prescott. So you got a top 10 quarterback and you got a top 3 receiver in CD Lamb and a top 15 receiving George Pickens, in my opinion. Which I really think he higher than that, but he just ain't had a chance to show it, so I ain't gonna put him up there. But I think by the end of the year, he gonna be top 10 at worst. So we got those 2. Got Jake Ferguson, healthy. You know what I'm saying? Running game, TBD, to be determined. So I don't understand. I don't know what that's gonna come out. You know, really preseason don't really show you nothing. They admitted they were just being vanilla, and none of the starters played. Like so, it's literally just guessing at this point. But my thought is Dallas will be a lot better on offense than they will defense, and I mean drastically. I feel like the defense is gonna be bottom 5, and the offense is gonna be top 5. So, but if somehow our defense can kick it in and play better and get in top 15, then we couldn't reach then. And the offense gonna be top 5. I'm ready to bet everything I own on that. Gonna be top 5. And I ain't talking about a fake top 5. I'm talking about a real top 5. As in when we got the offense got the ball and the time to go score, we scoring and winning every time. So the defense gonna put the offense in position and put us in position to win. At the end of the game, we are winning the game. But it's all about the offense only can score so many points. You only gonna get so many positions. You know what I'm saying? We can't turn the ball over. If we turn the ball on the offense, we're done. Because you can't keep putting the defense that we have out there over and over and over again. They gonna get scored on, bro. Like Donovan Ezra-Rocco, he got to play big. We need 10 sacks plus from him, man. I know you're a rookie that's asking a lot, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, y'all, the Cowboys traded Michael, so they feel like we got something in him. And I think he's pretty good too. You know, Dante Fowler, we need him to come step up. Sam Williams Jr., we need him to step up. James Hughes, we need him to step up. Nealon, we need him to step up. That defensive line, we need that defensive line to step up. I think we, depending on I don't know what that sound is. Depending on how the defense, how the back end play, or who healthy, you know, they signed Bland to a 4-year extension. So, and from our reports, it looks like Trayvon Diggs is coming to play. If he can get back into his form, and he was 3 years ago before the injury, then the back end should be good. We still safety. We still leave a lot to be desired. But hopefully them young boys can get in there and change that. You know what I'm saying? We'll see about that. But overall, I feel like the Eagles game Thursday night, I don't feel good about it, really. You know what I'm saying? From a defensive standpoint, I feel like the offense is about the same. It ain't. Dallas got the better quarterback. Dallas got the better receivers. The Eagles got the better O-line. So I feel like our defense is comparable in what they can do versus what Philly can do. You know what I'm saying? But just, Coach Shotty, I wasn't really sold on him when they first hired him, you know what I'm saying? Just because he hadn't really been in that position before. But just like every time I hear him talk, every press conference, he always gets me excited about what he can bring, what this team gonna do. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had no coach that talk with the enthusiasm that he talk. It's all cookie cutter. From Mike McCoy to Jason Garrett, it's all been cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta get it going, man. I think it'll be a close game, man. Either way, if it come down to, I don't think we'll blow them out. I think if anybody doing a blowing out, they'll blow us out just because it's ring night, banner night. Emotions gonna be high. Guys gonna be ready to play. You know what I'm saying? It's Dallas Cowboys. Like it's just a different element. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't been in that type of element. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different element. You on the road. You feel at the link. So I think if anybody doing the blowing out, it's gonna be them. We win, it's gonna be a close game. Down to the wire type thing. But I'm excited, man. I wasn't excited last year. It got to about week 4, my excitement just left. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't care, but I done got back to that point where I'm excited about it. It's about the season starting, and I'm ready for Thursday, man, to get to it. But all in all, Micah, I wish Michael good luck, man. I'm glad he got what he wanted, everything and I hope he get and pray he stay healthy. He get everything he wanted in Dallas. Hope he get it in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? But except for the expense of the Cowboys, that's another thing, man. You trade him to a team to knock you out, and you might have set them up for a couple more years and set you back a couple more. You know what I'm saying? You never know how it's gonna play out. Hopefully they ain't winning too much, and we can get those draft picks and be higher. But it is what it is at this point, man. The game's got to be played. You never know, man. One thing about the NFL is up and down, man. I think the stat was it's like every year 6 teams that made the playoff last year don't make it the next year. So you never know, man. Somebody got to make the playoff and somebody not. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be 3 teams at least that made the playoff last year that ain't gonna make it this year. So hopefully one of them is Dallas. But again, I'm excited, man. Get this thing rolling, man. I'm excited to be back in front of the mic and give y'all my information, man, and what I feel and my thoughts, man. But it's been a Cowboy offseason, man. Every year, the offseason gonna be wild, man. I just want 1 year for it to be a quiet offseason just to see how that affects us in a season. You know what I'm saying? Can we just chill it out and just go into the season like every other team does with no distractions, no leak conversations, no nothing, no contract negotiating, no nothing. Just go into the season, see what's going on. One day we'll do that, So ain't gonna be no time soon on Jerry here because Jerry won't headline. He don't want to be on the front line of that Super Bowl. He want to be on the headline of that paper, man. But I'm excited about the game, man. Y'all get in the comment, tell me your thoughts, man. How you feel about the Micah thing? How you feel about the game Thursday? I'm gonna try to get back on before Sunday just to try to preview a couple games, big games. I ain't gonna do the whole schedule, but at least the big game to see what's going on, man. But I appreciate y'all for listening, man. It's Coach Don Show. It's another episode. You can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. God bless you, and hope everybody having a wonderful weekend, safe weekend, and everybody make it back home safely to their family. Again, it's all love from Coach Don. I'm out.